welcome everyone to today's Synergist product demo webinar, Shoebox PureTest. I'm Kay Bechtold, Managing Editor of the Synergist, the magazine of AIHA. I'd like to thank everyone for joining us today, and especially Shoebox for sponsoring this webinar. Today's product demo is scheduled for 30 minutes, and we have a lot to cover, so I'm going to dive right in and quickly introduce today's speaker, Alexa Goff. Alexa is the Manager of Occupational Hearing Solutions at Shoebox. In this role, she works with some of the most forward-thinking employers and on-site or near-site occupational healthcare providers in North America. She has a passion for partnering with her customers to find innovative ways of improving how they deliver audiometric testing as part of a hearing conservation program, all while helping them achieve their overall business objectives. And now I'll turn the presentation over to Alexa.
Thanks, Kay. Appreciate that. So I'm going to jump right in. As Kay mentioned, we have a lot of ground to cover today and not a ton of time. So today I wanted to introduce you to Shoebox for occupational hearing testing. Since roughly 2015, Shoebox has been modernizing how workplace testing is administered and managed. Our solution has three main components: our iPad-based test equipment, a web-based data management portal, and a suite of services that include audiological supervision and review. Testing with Shoebox is easy, even for the non-hearing health professional, and our team of onboarding specialists do help you get up and running quickly and simply and equip you with the tools you need to test efficiently, regardless of whether you're testing in-house or at a customer site. Our systems provide a truly enjoyable user experience for either your employees or your clients without the need for sound booths or a mobile clinic. And of course, eliminating the need for booths or trucks will have benefits from both a cost and scheduling perspective, regardless of whether you're an in-house health and safety team trying to coordinate testing for a 24-hour operation or a service provider concerned about managing their profit margins. And with Shoebox, you can count on higher levels of compliance thanks to the controls we've introduced on testing parameters. So let me tell you more about Shoebox's iPad-based testing equipment, which we call PureTest. PureTest was purpose-built specifically for workplace hearing testing. The test itself is automated for ease of use, and the testing parameters are centrally controlled to ensure OSHA compliance requirements are being met. The system does not require any network connection to perform tests or complete shift analysis, which gives you the flexibility to test in almost any quiet location. Once testing is complete, the results are easily managed from our intuitive web-based data management portal, and you can easily generate individual and summary reports to ensure that your records are kept complete and up to date. Note that data captured with the iPad does sync automatically from the iPad to our web-based data management portal. However, the system will limit access to personal health data on the iPad itself to ensure compliance and privacy standards are adhered to. PureTest is listed as a Class 2 medical device with the FDA and Health Canada and meets the ANSI requirements for a Type 4 audiometer. This means Shoebox is appropriate for use in your OSHA-compliant hearing testing program. Okay, so the first feature that I will discuss of PureTest is the workflow. PureTest is workflow-based, meaning the test wizard will walk you through all required steps automatically. Testing parameters are pre-configured in our data management portal and then pushed out automatically to your testing devices. This maintains consistency across all devices or locations and ensures that your internal testing protocols are adhered to. Test administrators are guided through the testing process and are prevented from skipping any predefined steps in your testing workflow. Compliance requirements, such as daily hardware checks or bioverification, can then be locked down via the portal and required at the start of each testing day. Shoebox PureTest makes it easy for our users to manage their fleets of devices. Test settings are configured in the portal, again, and then pushed out to devices, regardless of whether you have 2 or 200 testing systems. Smart defaults will have you ready to test right out of the box. And for our enterprise customers, our professional services group will assist with company-specific requirements, including custom portal configuration or mobile device management. As noted, PureTest requires no network connection to perform tests or shift analysis, providing even greater flexibility than previous versions of Shoebox and allowing you to test in a wider range of locations. Once again, when using PureTest, testing parameters are pre-configured using our web-based portal, and then with settings being pushed out across your fleet. Settings are locked down, of course, to ensure compliance and consistency in testing program workflows. Okay, at this time, I'm going to share our brief video demonstration of the system. And here you go. I'm going to spend the next 15 minutes taking you through a demo of Shoebox PureTest, paying particular attention to the features of the solution that help users achieve compliance requirements and improve program efficiencies. To be clear, our customers are both employers who are managing their testing programs in-house and service providers who use the Shoebox solution to test on behalf of their employer clients. The Shoebox PureTest solution is made up of several components. First is our iPad-based audiometer. Second is our data management portal, which is used to pre-configure test settings, manage employee demographic data, review and manage test results, and schedule follow-up activities. Lastly, we offer a wide selection of optional services, including one-on-one training, onboarding assistance, workflow consultation, and audiological review and program supervision services. Let's first start with a review of the audiometric system. Using the search bar, users are easily able to find an employee by either searching by name or unique ID. You can also easily add a new patient or employee to PureTest by clicking on the plus symbol and filling in the required demographic information. We'll come back to this a little later. One thing that really differentiates PureTest from other audiometers used in occupational hearing programs is that it forces test admins to follow a predefined set of steps designed to ensure that everyone is following a consistent testing protocol. These controls are configured in the data management portal and pushed to every testing device, the iPads, in your program. More on that later. The first thing you will see in that is that the system forces a set of daily test prep activities that must be completed at the beginning of every testing day. Daily test prep activities include a room scan to ensure that your testing environment is sufficiently quiet, as well as tests to confirm that your headphones are functioning properly, and a bioverification test to ensure your test equipment is properly calibrated. Let's now do the room scan. You will be prompted to plug in the external microphone to perform this test. Once the room scan is complete, you will be notified if your testing environment is suitable or not. If ambient noise exceeds the approved M panels at any frequency, the system will prompt to rescan the room. You may also be notified if the scan passed, but there are frequencies that were close to failing. This is probably an indication of intermittent noise that could pose a problem during testing. Things like a fan or heating system that may turn on and off. This could be an indication that the room you are testing in may pose a problem, and you may want to consider finding an alternative location. Once you have completed the room scan, you will be instructed to remove the microphone, and you can now start the headphones check. With the test administrator wearing the headphones check will present a tone in both the left and right ear. If the tone is heard loud and clear, the pass button can be tapped. If you detect any crackling or static sounds, the fail button should be selected. The third and final daily test prep activity is a bioverification test. This is simply a hearing test that the examiner will take themselves to be sure the audiometer is functioning properly, similar to that one that all participants in your program will take. The user will tap on the blue disc and wait for it to present a tone. If the tone is heard, the blue disc is dragged over to the green circle. If no tone is heard, drag to the red circle. The test will run through all required frequencies for each ear. If this is your first bioverification test, you can set the results as the baseline. Future results will be compared against this hearing test as a way of ensuring the system is working properly. Once all 3 test prep steps have been completed, test examiners can begin testing for the day. All right, now that we have run through test prep, let's spend a bit more time on adding new patients and the testing workflow. As mentioned earlier, you can easily search for existing program participants by either typing their name or an ID number into the search bar. But if you need to add new participants, start by tapping the plus symbol. This is where employee details can be added. First and last names are required for all new employees, as are date of birth and gender for automated shift calculations. Once you have saved the information, it is time to start a testing workflow. At this point, the employee or patient will take control of the iPad. They will be able to select from English, French, or Spanish options when taking the test. And this can be different from the language the test examiner has selected for administering their tasks. The employee will then see their testing homepage, which gives them a preview of what is to come. In the interest of time, we'll speed through the questionnaire, but as you know, the results of this questionnaire, combined with the hearing test results, will provide the basis for audiological determinations. Once the questionnaire is complete, it is time to move to the automated hearing test. The patient or employee will first be presented with a quick tutorial on how to complete the hearing test so that they are clear on the steps to follow. Again, dragging and dropping the blue disc to the green or red circles, depending on whether or not they heard the tone being presented. If ambient noise exceeds permissible limits at any time during the test will be automatically paused and the employee will be notified. Occasionally, employees will have difficulty completing the test. If the test detects any abnormalities or if the background noise does not subside, the test examiner can intervene to help administer the rest of the test using our assisted mode. When using assisted mode, the test examiner controls the iPad and presents the tones manually to the employee, who sits facing away from them. When using assisted mode, the employee or patient can indicate by raising a hand when they hear each tone. The frequency and volume of each tone will be displayed below the noise monitor at the top of the screen. Once the test is complete, the employee will be prompted to remove their headphones and hand the iPad back to the person administering the test. At this point, the test admin can proceed to the results screen and review these results with the employee. After the test results have been reviewed, the report can be signed by both the employee and the test examiner. The last step in their testing workflow is to provide the employee with a copy of their results. These can either be printed or emailed directly to them from the iPad. This concludes the testing workflow. So we've covered what you need to know about the testing equipment. As you can see, it is purpose-built for occupational hearing testing, locking down important steps that are required for achieving a compliant program, and making the administration of the test itself quite simple and straightforward. Now I want to switch gears and take a look at the data management portal, which is where many of the program administration tasks are managed. From the portal, your test settings can be configured and pushed out to every testing device in your program. Settings can also be locked so that no user can bypass any steps you deem necessary for a compliant program. The system is pre-configured to present the OSHA-mandated hearing health questionnaire prior to the hearing test itself. The automated hearing test settings are configured out of the box to meet OSHA requirements for audiometric testing. You can also configure how test results will be presented at the end of the test. You can select what will be displayed by toggling on or off from this list of options. You can see that regardless of location or test examiner, everyone will be following a very consistent testing protocol with no ability to deviate from the processes defined by the program manager. Okay, so we've covered test prep, performing a test, and the various configurations you can customize for your specific program. Now let's focus on how the data management portal is used to manage, review, and report on test results. Patients and their test results will appear in the Patients list. Test results captured on the iPad are synced and pushed to the data management portal when the iPad is connected to a Wi-Fi or cellular network, depending on your model of iPad. Once they've synced to the portal, they will be automatically deleted from the iPad. This is a security feature designed to protect the personal health information of your employees or patients, as it prevents any other user of the iPad from inadvertently accessing someone else's data. To view an employee's test results, start by clicking the Patients tab on the left side of the screen. Search for or select the employee whose results you wish to view. This takes you to their individual results page. All previous audiological test data is stored here, as well as any other relevant information, including follow-up actions required and demographics. You can also use this page to edit the employee's demographic data and set follow-up activities. Now let's look a little closer at some of the portal features that are designed to help facilitate the results review process. We'll navigate once again to the Patients page. Now we can create a follow-up list. This enables us to easily identify those employees who have been flagged for follow-up. Next, we're going to set column preferences on the employee page. This is a quick and easy way to access the information that is most important to you. Clicking the gear icon opens up a list of drop-down menus with different criteria for each column. We recommend the following: OSHA with age adjustment, which marks STSs and RSTSs, employee ID, last tested, to quickly identify when the subject was tested last, and action reason, which marks the reason given by the reviewer for why an action is required to be performed. If you are responsible for overseeing a large number of physical testing sites, the facility category may also be useful. Next, we'll click on the Filter Criteria button. Select the project you are working under, then select Active, and under Required Action, select Follow-up. Once the filter has been created, clicking the heart icon to save this filter and make it easy to find for future use. Adding a unique identifier in front of the name of the filter, such as your initials, for example, will help indicate to other users that you are the one who created this filter. To find it again later, hover over the Patients tab and you will see your saved filters under the Recent Saved Filters, or by clicking on the Filters tab. In this example, with these columns selected, the administrator can quickly identify those employees with a recordable shift, referral recommended, invalid test or retest required, which facility they work out of, and the action reason provided by the reviewer. Lastly, we are going to review steps for updating employee files after their test results have been reviewed by your audiological reviewer, as well as look at the reporting capabilities of the system. When using the data management portal, your primary method of interaction with your reviewer will be through their review notes. These are posted onto an employee's patient data file after their review has been completed. You will see from the notes if any follow-up action is required. These could include requesting a retest if the test indicated is missing frequencies, or to confirm or negate a possible STS, recommending a medical or audiological referral, or requesting that an employee be added to the OSHA 300 log when there has been a confirmed recordable shift. Program managers are responsible for taking action on these recommendations from the reviewer. To access the list of employees who require follow-up, we'll navigate back to the follow-up filter we created earlier in this demonstration. The action reason column that we added on the right lists the reason given by the reviewer for the next action. Let's take a look at this sample employee that has been flagged as requiring a medical referral. Clicking into their individual patient page, we quickly see the recommendation and reason at the top of the page. Referral letters, which are easily generated in the portal, can then be provided to the employee. The flag would be changed to none and a comment added to their file. This removes them from the follow-up list and completes the loop. Employees should be notified in clear and timely fashion of any required next actions. This can be accomplished by either printing and providing a hard copy of the test results or individual summary report to the employee, or by sending it directly via email. In addition to reviewing and reporting on a single employee or patient, The Shoebox portal makes it easy and simple to report on groups of individuals. Some of the most commonly generated reports include the Due for Testing report that shows you which employees are due for their initial or baseline tests, annual tests, and retests, and the Shift report, which shows who within a specific group, such as department or site, is showing an STS or RSTS based on their most recent test results. The Shift report is a good tool to oversee the testing and see as a group what state your employees who potentially have a shift are in. You can see if the retest has been completed, if the review has been completed, all of these things. All reports can be set to automatically get emailed out on a regular cadence, making it easy for program managers to ensure they are hitting their desired compliance rates. This concludes our overview of Shoebox for occupational hearing testing and those features of the solution that help users manage and maintain compliant testing programs. Okay, perfect. Thank you. A quick note now on privacy and security. We take data security and privacy very seriously here at Shoebox. Shoebox is built on a HIPAA-compliant infrastructure with industry-leading practices to ensure the protection and security of customer data. Our policies and procedures were developed in consultation with US and Canadian legal privacy experts and are designed to help ensure the privacy and security of data transmitted and hosted by our applications. Lastly, one more plug for our world-class customer services and support teams. When you choose Shoebox, you will gain access to our dedicated team of North America-based support specialists. Our services teams take the time to really understand your business and its unique requirements and work with you to get your testing program off the ground and running successfully. We understand that making a shift to a new type of system can be scary, and many of our customers will have never tested hearing with mobile technology before, but don't worry. Our teams will work alongside you to make switching to Shoebox an easy and enjoyable experience, and we'll do our best to make your testing program a success. So thank you for taking the time to participate in today's webinar. That's all I have as far as the slides go. So Kay, I'm happy to pass it back to you and we can move forward with a few minutes now for questions.
Okay, great. Thank you, Alexa. It looks like we have about 6 or 7 minutes for questions. So just a reminder, if you'd like to ask a question, please type it into the chat window on the right side of your screen and send to everyone. Alexa, the first question I have for you is, how many customers are using PureTest today?
Good question. I don't have the exact number. I can tell you that we have hundreds of occupational health customers. And so I would imagine the number would be in the hundreds currently across North America, predominantly in the United States.
Okay, great. Thanks. The next question I have, someone says, I heard that Shoebox is not an OSHA compliant solution. Is that true?
It is absolutely not true. Unfortunately, you know, when you introduce a new piece of technology into a space like hearing testing, although we have been around now since, you know, as I mentioned, since about 2015, so I wouldn't even consider us really the new kids on the block anymore. We are certainly compliant with all requirements laid out by OSHA and ANSI for that matter. So I'm happy to field, you know, additional questions with regards to compliance. I'm also happy to provide documentation to anyone that is interested in learning more about how we meet all requirements laid out by OSHA for an occupational hearing testing program. I believe my contact information will be shared at the end of the presentation. So for anyone that has any lingering doubts or questions about our compliance, please feel free to reach out to me. I'm happy to provide documentation and discuss compliance in more detail.
Okay, great. Thank you. The next question I have is, what makes testing with Shoebox a better experience for employees?
That's a good question. And, I think it's changed in recent years just due to, things like coping with a global pandemic. I think if I start at the very basic level, I have certainly received feedback from my customers that employees enjoy testing with Shoebox because they feel like it takes some of the pressure off it. It's more enjoyable. It's almost like playing a simple game almost versus sitting in a tiny sound booth and reacting with the push button. I know that many of my clients say that their employees, they're big guys or gals, and they're sitting in the sound booth and it's hot and it's stuffy and it's uncomfortable, and that raises your stress levels. Versus testing in an open air environment with a simple sorting game, it certainly makes it a more enjoyable for the person being tested. So I would say those are the number one reasons. One, eliminating the need to be in a confined space, which for many people is a very uncomfortable experience. Depending on when you're testing, it can be hot as well, which again increases your stress levels and could even impact the results of the hearing test. I think, as I mentioned, the new factor here is that from a safety perspective, eliminating the need to disinfect the entire booth and work through all of those kind of extra security or safety controls that we've had to implement since COVID. Moving to an open air testing environment with Shoebox, again, will alleviate some of the stress. Some people may feel uncomfortable testing in a confined space, not only because of the size and the temperature of the space, but also due to just the potential for sharing of germs, for lack of a better term. So I would say since we've all kind of emerged from COVID, I still think that from a comfort level and a stress level of the person being tested, Shoebox just creates a much more enjoyable experience for the employee because we do allow them to test in an open air environment and in a way that can be safe for them from a COVID perspective.
Okay, great. Thank you. The next question I have, someone is interested in adding hearing testing to the services they offer their clients, but don't have audiologists on staff. Can they still use Shoebox?
Absolutely, they can. That's a really good question. We can offer assistance in several capacities when it comes to helping. And in fact, most of the service providers that we've worked with over the years, they'll typically come to us because one of their existing clients that they provide some other service to, say, drug and alcohol testing, fit testing, any other sort of service offering, they'll say, can you also do my hearing testing? And they say, probably, I just need to find a solution to help me do that. So then they come to Shoebox and we help get them up and running quickly and easily. As far as the audiological review, typically what will happen is they'll contract a local audiologist, but we can certainly help connect them with audiologists to perform that service for them if they don't have in-house audiology teams. We do have access to a nationwide network of audiologists, occupational audiologists, and we are always happy to assist our customers in connecting with those audiologists so that they can then provide these services to their customers, inclusive of all of the audiological review as well.
Okay, great. Thanks, Alexa. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for today. I just wanted to let everyone know that we'll be sharing all questions from today's event with Shoebox. So if we didn't get to your question, please know that we'll pass it along. My thanks to Alexa Goff for her presentation, to Shoebox for sponsoring today's product demo webinar, and to all of our participants. Our Synergist webinar series will pick back up again later this summer. Please check aiha.webvent.tv for updates. Thanks to everyone again, and have a great day.
Thank you, everyone. This actually concludes today's DemoCast. Thank you all for attending. The recording will be available at aiha.webvent.tv. We will send all registrants an email tomorrow with that link. And please visit our event calendar to sign up for future webcasts.